Hi, Jiabin. It's nice to see that you're continuing to work with us. It's great. Let's see what you did in this set. Employees staying at the same job. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Let's see what you said. Whether one should stay in the same job till retirement has been a topic of debate throughout the world, while some argue that a lifelong job can benefit an employee financially. I firmly believe that diverse working experience is more valuable. This essay will discuss both sides using examples from Japan and Kanjong to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Perfect. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that a lifelong job has potential financial benefits. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, people who stay in the same job have more stable income sources than those who change work frequently. Okay. Secondly, the longer an employee stays with an S in the same job, the more likely he or she is to get a promotion, which often means S, considerable increases in salary. For example, recent empirical research by the Japanese government shows that 78% of senior managers and higher level employees of the top 100 Japanese companies are those who have served in the same corporation for at least 8 years. Therefore, it's conclusively clear that people can benefit a lot from their lifelong jobs financially. All right, that's lovely. Here's my one concern. You went straight from your firstly to your secondly, and you said that basically you said that they have more stable income. And then here you said that they have an increase in salary. Let's see. And then 70% of the top people are those who have been in the same corporation. So what are you actually supporting here? Promotions. Okay, so you're actually just supporting the second idea, but you didn't support the first at all. And so that's something I wanted to see. I wanted to see basically anytime you have a main idea, and in this case you had two main ideas. One was about stable income, and the second one was about promotions. So while you develop this idea of, being a higher level employee, so in other words, promotions, you never went into this at all. Anytime you have an idea, a main idea, which is explaining your viewpoint, you really do need to support it. Okay? So that's one thing that was missing for me. Let's move on. On the other hand, although there is a case for a permanent career favoring one's livelihood, I strongly agree that it is getting more difficult for one to stay in the same job in modern society. Furthermore, people can get, you know what, make this two sentences, full stop and then new sentence. Furthermore, people can gain more from diverse working experience. Firstly, a large number of working positions whenever you have a large number and the next word is plural, then you should use the plural. So, a large number of working positions are being replaced by machines, computers, or even artificial intelligence. Thus, millions of workers worldwide, that's one word, worldwide, are forced to change their jobs. Secondly, by performing different responsibilities, people can develop a comprehensive skill set, which will make them more competitive in the workforce. Lastly, working in different sectors enables a person here, you need an article A, to find the profession which they are truly passionate about. For instance, the famous American comedian Ken Jeong used to be a physician. Based on one of his speeches, he would not be so successful if he how about this? He would not be so successful if he had kept working as a doctor, as he found his authentic passion was acting. Consequently, it is possible to state beyond doubt that it is increasingly hard for one to have a lifelong career. Moreover, individuals with diverse professional backgrounds are more likely to achieve success. Okay, now let's talk about this paragraph a little bit. It was lovely in a lot of ways. The grammar was nice, the vocabulary was good, and you had a lot of ideas. What you didn't have was really the appropriate structure here. So let's talk about it. You said that it's harder to stay in the same job and you gain more from working experience. Okay, great. Let's see. It's getting more difficult. Okay. So this is what you're saying here. All right, let me just see. Let me just kind of work through it, okay? Okay, so you're fine up until here. You say you have your two ideas, and then you say that um, millions of workers are forced to change their jobs. It's not that they want to, but they're kind of forced to, and so that's fine. Then you said that they have they develop a comprehensive skill set, and that makes them more competitive. But you never talk about it. You never develop it. So we don't have any examples of this. We don't have any illustrations, any sort of support about this idea whatsoever. And that's really missing for us here. Okay? And then you tell us about this comedian, and that was fine. That you developed. But you know what? You had three ideas here, and I'm going to suggest to you that you should have left one of them out. You really need to just stick, like this one here. Honestly, you didn't even need it because you never had any support for it. And it was just like a sentence thrown in there. You had support for this idea. You had support for this idea. So honestly, you should have just gotten rid of this. Okay? Let's see. That is increasingly hard for one to have a career. And yeah, so I wouldn't even have put this here. Take it out, okay? Because you already had enough ideas with just two, and then you never supported that one. So let's look at the conclusion. To conclude from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that people should experience various jobs. All right, fine. That's a little brief. There's one other thing I want to talk about. You tried doing something that's a advanced grammatical structure, but it didn't quite work out. So let's talk about that. Here you tried using, this is called a mixed conditional because it includes two different types of conditionals. But not only that, but it's also you have the result clause first and the if clause second. And so all these things are complicated. Mixed conditionals are tough enough for English students, for students learning English. But when you reverse it and you put the result first and then the if, that makes it even harder. So if you had done it successfully, it would have been like, you know, standing ovation from the audience and everyone cheering you. But unfortunately, you didn't. So let's talk about what it should have been. Based on one of his speeches, he would not be so successful today if he had kept working as a doctor in the past. Okay, that's why it's mixed, because you've got a present result with a past condition, and so it's a mixed conditional. As he found his authentic passion was acting. Okay? This for me was a little brief. You extended so much before that I thought you probably should have maybe said maybe one extra thing here. Like, just I firmly believe that people should experience various jobs for the benefits it creates in this and this aspect, or something like that. All right. Overall, of course, it's a lovely essay, but it still, you know, could stand some improvement in a couple of the areas that we talked about. Let's talk about this crop production now. The pie chart demonstrates the proportion of France's crop yield across 6 kinds. Name 6 kinds. The kinds is a little weird. I would have preferred a different word. Across different products, maybe? Namely wheat, barley, rice, cotton, sugar, and corn in the year 2017. In the given year, cotton made up the largest percentage of France's crop production. This is awkward. You need a semicolon here or else a new sentence. There was... no, you can't say there was. Instead, you just say 34% of the production was cotton. Get rid of there was. Sugar and wheat collectively represented around 42% of this year's crop yields in France. It's not number, it's figure. When you don't want to keep using the word percent or percentage, you can use the word figure or proportion. So the figure for them was 21.9 and 20.4 respectively. However, corn was the least yielded crop in the same year, making up only less than 2% of the total production. It is interesting to notice that although the production of rice was more than twice as much as that of corn, the figure for it was only 3.5%. Okay. In the same year, barley's yield was 5 times more than that of rice, making up 18% of the total production. Let's see. Okay, yeah, you mentioned them all. To summarize, cotton was the most produced crop, followed by sugar and wheat. At the same time, corn and rice only represented a tiny part of the crop production in France. It's lovely. I like the way you did this. I like that you started with the top. I like that you went then to the bottom, and then you kind of had this nice sentence about barley, which was somewhere in the middle. I thought you did a very good job with this. Just be careful with some of the vocabulary. Like I said, use the word figure. It's a very it's a great like kind of catch-all that you can use if you don't want to keep repeating vocabulary like percent, percentage, even number. Figure is just like it kind of encompasses all of them, so you can use it freely. Let's see. So yeah, it was a good job. I thought you did very well. Yeah, I have no other comments about this. That was pretty much it. Looks like it's around 150 words. You did a good job of extending this. I liked it. I liked that you combined the sugar and wheat. That was good. And then after you combined them, you told us how they made up this figure. No, it was a good job in general. Okay, this one is tough because there's so little information here, but you did well with it. So go ahead and let's see your next set of essays. All right, I'll be waiting. Good luck.